one of the things that we were finding was that who was actually using that tax credit was, and the prime example was Real Salt Lake. Here it was they were going to put a very large solar array. There's a billionaire, Deloy Hansen, the owner of Real Salt Lake. He wanted to do this after they were done constructing, after their contractor said, hey, why don't we apply for this incentive, after they had already made the decision to do it. And he got a $1 million check that he didn't really need, plus he was already doing it. And so the purpose of the incentive is to kind of encourage people to do something that they weren't going to do, and so that's why you give an incentive, is to kind of get you over the hump. So what we were finding was that wasn't getting people over the hump, it was just a perk. It was, they were going to make the decision anyway, and especially if you look at most of the people who tended to be rich, more wealthier, and Rocky Mountain Power providing that meant the incentive was being provided by all ratepayers, so even poor people were contributing to it. So it was a regressive versus a progressive. So when you get a tax credit, that's a progressive. So poor people don't contribute as much to taxes as rich people. So it really it wasn't achieving what the original intent, and especially for a desire for improving air quality, it was, well, let's pivot that and go and focus on what our big challenge of air quality along the Wasatch Front, which is pollution from cars, and a big solution for that would be electric vehicles. And so could we create an incentive that could actually tip that to help people put in or buy electric vehicles? So what we did was we pivoted from providing a solar incentive to now we're going to provide an incentive for charging stations. So what we want to do is put in a network of charging stations across the entire state. So that way, because one of the big barriers for adopting an electric vehicle is what they call range anxiety. Can I get where I want to go? So we put this network, the plan is to use those funds to put a network across the entire state to really help encourage the adoption of electric vehicles.
Free?
Okay, so this...
Would it be free, the charging, or?
The charging for, like, once the stations are in?
Yeah,
it would be up to the property owner who gets the who gets the charger equipment. It would be up to them.
Yeah.
So the city, or the state of Utah gives it for free up at the Capitol. So it just depends on if someone has to pay for the electricity.
Yeah.
And so if that whoever.
So who's paying for the charging stations then? The state?
No, it through our incentive, Rocky Mountain Power through our incentive. Yeah.
Okay.
So the property owner would buy a charging station but get a rebate, basically?
Exactly. Okay. So, for example, a level 2 charger, which is kind of would fit like a Leaf, would charge a Leaf in about 4 hours or so. That one would be like a $3,000 incentive, which should cover most of the costs of the actual charger. Then it's just like, well, do you have to hire an electrician or do all that? That the property owner would then have to pay. And we're also going to provide incentive for the fast chargers, the DC fast chargers, which right now could provide a full charge in about 20 minutes. And that'd be for the corridors. Yeah, or a Tesla or the Bolt. We want to put the types of chargers that we want to put out there. We want to fit for the next generation electric vehicles. So the Bolt, the 200-mile range cars.
Okay, so it sounds like Rocky Mountain Power has our air quality in mind and some of the policies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a benefit. I mean, I would be remiss to say, sure, we'd like to sell a little more electricity, which isn't a bad thing for the company.
Right. I'd like to get into these incentives a little more. Maybe Brian, you could speak to us from a businessman's perspective. You two are sort of, well, you're not necessarily the CEO of the company, but you're speaking for the company. So you two are sort of going head to head over for customers, right? For power customers. Either you're buying your electricity from Rocky Mountain Power, or you're buying it from a rooftop solar provider, right? So you guys are in direct competition.
I don't believe you're buying. regular.
Okay, so my question is, this one way to sort of look at it,